Good morning. Our call to community today is Be Ours a Religion. If you'd like to follow along, it's number 1058 in the teal book.
Whoever you are, there we go. Good morning, all. Come, come, whoever you are, do you hear that voice calling you, calling us? That voice which calls us together here, today, in this room and online. This voice is made holy by our presence and by the sacred breath that we share in our singing, in our speaking, and in our silence. That voice which calls us to remember that we are not alone and that we are inextricably linked to all other life, woven into a vast tapestry of existence of which we are a powerful, integral, and holy part. And just as we have been called here together today, we act as the voice, the heart and hands of another call, the call to journey with the wanderers, sing and dance with the worshipers, proclaim the memory of those who have taken their leave, wrap the despairing and the broken in the arms of love and community, and hold the hands of all of us who have broken our vows and call us back again and again to the covenant and work of justice, humility, and steadfast faithfulness. For this we are here together today. My friends, come, yet again come, let us worship together. As we begin our service, as we always do, let us take this moment to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional land of the Duwamish people, stewards of this land in the past and the present. Let us honor this land and the Duwamish tribe with humility and gratitude. And whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves and your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed or oath to swear. We have instead the promises that we make to one another, commitments we make to healing a hurting world within and beyond our walls. Welcome, everyone.
And now, let us take a moment to light our chalice. Our chalice lighter today is Craig Anderson. Craig, would you please come forward? The chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. May its heat energize us for the work that is ours to do. May its light make our vision clear and bright. May its warmth comfort us always. This morning, as we light this flame, we mark this time as sacred time. We mark this space as sacred space. Let us share in all of this together. Now, as Craig Anderson lights our chalice, please join me in speaking the words of our congregation's affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Welcome to the Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation. I'm Rick Taylor, a member of the worship team, and it's a great joy to be gathering with you for this service on the theme of our global UU connection. If you're with us for the first time, or the first time in a while, welcome. We're so glad that you're here, both here in the sanctuary and joining online, to make some space in your life to attend to your heart and your spirit, to come together in community. Please visit our website, which you can do by scanning the QR code on the cards in the pew, where you can fill out a welcome form, so we can get to know you a bit better and send you our weekly electronic newsletter, the Westside Week. It's good to see so many new and familiar faces. Let's take a few moments to greet our neighbors around us. Here it is. This up. They look to be having such a good time.
They always have a good time.
Yes.
They'll go on having a good time at coffee hour.
When they're doing this, I played another church in my house Sundays, and we always bring it back with this music. Lately, they've been doing that Amen.
That sounds good.
Oh, that's Madrona Grace. Oh, right, yes. Yes,
As always, it's great to see such enthusiastic greetings. Each week, congregants who agree to light our chalice are given a chance to respond to a question or to offer a piece of poetry. Craig Anderson has been asked to offer a piece of poetry that's particularly meaningful. Craig?
Hello. Oh. Today I'm going to share my favorite poem by my father, Clifton Anderson. Though he is a distinguished person, I think that his most extraordinary quality was that he acutely observed his life. I know this well because he provided a record of his thought. He wrote a lot of poetry. I compiled them into a book which I entitled Empowering the Spirit. And this cover was painted by my mother for a children's book that she illustrated. So here goes. Exotic as any dragon, for Joseph, a friend of my father. One April day when kites are climbing higher and higher up the bumpy steps that lead to heaven, remember me. Watch one boy's kite string tug and quiver. Imagine how he feels and what it's like to slice through sky with taut cotton cord. Look at the boy. Consider him well. Observe his childhood. See how it slips so quickly through his fingers, moving aloft into a new dimension. Before he is gone, show him you care. When his eager kite is tugging, climbing, exalting in the April sky, he must move with it, empowering his spirit to climb, to soar, to exalt, to express his own zest and eagerness. The kite string he holds cannot be restrained. He moves with it, letting the cord flow through his fingers without a cut, without regret. April surrounds him, telling him the world is good. The green, quickening hills glow like garnets, and a playful wind grabs all heaving thoughts, sending them singing through the light blue air. I find it too difficult to engage directly with this poem in public. Dwelling too long with my father's thought is too affecting. Nevertheless, I love it and wanted to share it with you today. So in lieu of my thoughts about this poem, I'd like to share some family history relevant to the theme of today's service. In 1949, my parents felt the tug of adventure and the call to service. My dad found out that the Presbyterian Church had missionaries in the Middle East, so my parents applied to be missionaries, were accepted, and then became Presbyterians. A similar story later resulted in them becoming Unitarians. After training, my parents and my sister went to Lebanon. While they were there, among other things, including having me, my mother dispensed mixed powdered milk to Palestinian women refugees, and my father headed a literacy project in neighboring Syria. Their 5-year tenure in Lebanon gifted them with an enduring sympathy and connection with the people of the Middle East. One thing I like about myself is my capacity to appreciate other people. This has given me the hobby of gathering their stories. Lately, I've been gathering the stories of people associated with our sister church project, most of whom have visited our sister church in Transylvania. I also feel fortunate to have interviewed Clifford Houlihan. He never went to Romania, but he was a stalwart facilitator of our project. Uniformly, they remember their experience with fondness and believe that our connection with that church is important. If you feel the tug of adventure and would like to render service simply by sharing yourselves with fellow Unitarians in another land, I hope that you will join us from time to time at our monthly Zoom meeting with our sister church in Tarraco, St. George. You will be greeted cordially by our friends Saba and sometimes Imiche. and be treated to stories and pictures of village life and to stories about the life of their church. Unlike my parents, you will not have to board an ocean liner to get there. All you'll have to do is contact me via email for the link to the meeting.
When we were choosing music for today's service, we looked through the hymnal for ones that had some connection to Transylvania or interconnectedness of our global community. And our next one is called Find a Stillness. It's based on a Transylvanian hymn, and it's based on a Unitarian Transylvanian text, and it's following a Transylvanian hymn. So please rise in body or spirit as we sing number 352, Find a Stillness.
It is now our time for all ages, and Rick will be our storyteller. So take it away, Rick.
This morning, for our time for all ages, I want to share a story called A Lamp in Every Corner, written by Janine Grossmeyer. As we hear this story, you'll see photos on the screen. Some are from our partner church, and some are from our community. Let these images help you imagine the story as one of the real people in the real community. Many years ago, in the land of Transylvania, in a mountain valley watered by quick rushing streams and shadowed by great forests of beech trees, there was a village of sweet little houses with red shingled roofs. People in the village of the Unitarian religion, and they wanted a church of their own, a church in the heart of their village where they could meet in shared community. So all the people of the village labored long and hard to build themselves a church. The stonemasons hammered sharp chisels to cut great blocks of gray stone, then set the stones into stout and sturdy walls. The glaziers made tiny glass panes and fitted them neatly into the windows with leaded lines. The foresters sawed tall beech trees into enormous beams and laid the trusses for the ceiling, then covered the roof with close-fitting clay shingles that wouldn't leak a drop of rain. The carpenters carved wood for the pair of wide-opening doors, setting them on strong pegs so that the doors hung straight and square. A bell was brought from a faraway city, then hoisted by ropes with a heave and a hoe to the top of the tower. The weavers wove fine cloths for the altar table. Cloths embroidered with flowers and edged with lace. The smiths hammered black iron into tall lampstands and put them in the walls around the sanctuary. Finally, when the building of the church was done, the painting of the church could begin. The painters mixed bright colors, royal red. Who brought the donuts? The painters mixed bright colors, royal red and shimmering gold and brilliant blue, and everyone in the village, old and young, women and men, boys and girls, came to decorate the church. They painted flowers, they painted trees, they painted designs around the windows and different designs around the doors. At the end of the day, when it was finished, when their church was finally done, all the people of the village stood back to admire it, and then to sing a song of happiness and praise. Their village had a church now, a church in the heart of the village where all could meet in shared community. "We will all eat now," announced an elder of the village, because everyone was hungry after their long day's work. "And later tonight, we will come back to pray." So the people of the village went down the hillside to their homes and their suppers, all except one little girl named Zora and her father, who stayed behind. They had brought their own bread and cheese. They ate their food slowly, sitting on the grass on the hillside and admiring their new church. Strong stone walls, tall tower, and its magnificent bell. After they'd eaten, they went back inside, opening those carved wooden doors to go into the gloriously painted sanctuary inside. "Oh, look, Father," Zora cried, running from picture to picture with her footsteps echoing off the stone walls. "See how pretty the church is." She stopped in the center of the church and twirled slowly around. "See how grand." "Yeah, it is," said her father, looking around and nodding with pride. "Yes, it is." "But Father," she said, "we've not finished." "What do you mean?" "Well, there are tall iron lampstands all along the walls, but there are no lamps. The church will be dark when the people come in." "Oh, no, little one," said her father. "The light of the church comes from its people. You shall see." He rang the bell to call the people to worship, then took his daughter by the hand and led her back outside. They waited next to their beautiful church of strong white stone. The sun had set behind the mountains, and night was coming on. In blowing darkness, tiny points of light from many directions, and moved steadily through the valley. "Each family has been entrusted with a lamp, little one," her father explained. "Each family lights its own way here." "Where's our family's lamp?" "Your mother is carrying it. She'll be here soon." The many lights moved closer together, gathering into one moving stream, all headed the same way, growing larger and brighter all the time. Zora's mother arrived, bearing a burning oil lamp in her hands. The father lifted Zora so she could see their family's lamp high on its tall iron stand. All around the church, other families were doing the same, Soon the church was ablaze with light in every corner, for all the people of the village had gathered to pray and to sing. All through the worship service, Zora watched the lights flicker and glow. She watched her family's lamp most of all. When the service was over, her father lifted her high. She took the shining bronze lamp from the lampstand. Its curved sides were warm and smooth in her hand. Her mother carried the lamp home with the flame lighting the way. The lamp flame lit their house when they returned home. Zora washed her face and got ready for bed by the light of that flame. "Mother," Zora began as she climbed into bed. "Yes, little one?" her mother asked, tucking the red wool blanket around Zora's shoulders. "Father said the light of the church comes from its people." "Yes. But also the people take their light from the church." Over on the table by the fireplace, the shiny bronze lamp was still burning. "And we have that light every day." "Yes, indeed," said her mother. "And even when we are not in church, even when the lamp is not lit, we carry the light of truth in our minds and the flame of love in our hearts to show us the right way to be. That light from truth and love will never go out." "Never?" asked Zora. "Never. This lamp will last for many, many years. When you're grown, we will give this bronze lamp to you. And when your children are grown, you will give the lamp to them. And all of you will carry it back and forth to church every time." "But there's only one lamp," Zora said. "So make another and let the light grow. And someday tell your children to make more lamps too." "And now good night," her mother said, kissed Zora once on this cheek, once on that cheek, once on the forehead. Zora closed her eyes and drifted into dreams while her mother looked down upon her sleeping child. The years passed. Zora grew. The bronze lamp came into her care. She kept it polished and clean, and when the bell rang out across the valley to call the people to worship, she carried the lamp back and forth to the church on the hillside, the flame always lighting her way. When the time came, she made more lamps and gave them to her children, who made more lamps and gave them to their children. And so it went on through the years, even until today. And always, the light of truth and the flame of love from that Unitarian church in the heart of the village grows and shows them and us the way.
We are now going to sing folks out to their RE classes our song As You Go.
In a moment, we will engage in our offering, a collective act of generosity when we take time to actively support Westside UU congregation and its many ministries with our gifts by text, check, or cash. Each month, we choose a community organization to share 1/3 of our undesignated offering gifts, that is, those donations not designated as your pledge contributions. For the month of July, our community giving recipient is Feeding America. The Feeding America network of food banks, pantries, and meal programs serves virtually every community in the United States, including Seattle. Feeding America sponsors summer food programs nationwide, which provide free meals for kids and teens up to age 18. They make meals available to kids who don't get lunch when school is out in June, July, and August. Some summer programs provide breakfast as well as lunch. There may also be summer activities or learning programs available during meal times. School's out, but hunger never takes a break. You can give by text by sending a message with a $sign and the amount you want to give to the number on the screen. Heads up, we have a new phone number for text giving. You'll need to update your devices with this new contact number and the payment information that works best for you. For folks here in the sanctuary who prefer to share your gifts by cash or check, the greeters will move among you shortly. If you'd like your gifts to be recorded as coming from you, please use one of the envelopes in the pews. And now enjoy this gift of music.
We will now take a moment to make collective space for holding the joys and sorrows of our community. The link to share your joys and sorrows can be found in our newsletter. And many of you know about Cliff Houlihan's death earlier this month. In honor of his work with our partner church, which we are lifting up this morning, I have been asked to share some words of condolence from the minister of our church, of our sister church, Reverend Emma Shea. She writes, "The news of Cliff's passing has hit us hard. He was a great guy. He always managed to make us smile. His insights were always spot on. I know that the passing of his wife has rocked his world. We want to believe that now they are together and smiling again." The church in Turocco St. George offered a brief remembrance for him in the service last Sunday. So we honor Cliff, a member of our community, and the ties that bound him to us and to others around the world. And we have a joy from Scott Farrell, who is in Atlanta this week, where he has been attending the Association for Unitarian Universalist Music Ministries Conference. He writes that, "I have had a deeply meaningful and joyful experience here, and I look forward to sharing the gifts I've received with you all in the coming months. A huge thanks to WSUU for supporting me in this journey. So thank you all for making that possible for Scott, and we look forward to having him. And I'll note that this is a time of personal joy for me as well, as I return from France this week, where my partner and I, Baptiste and I, celebrated our 5th anniversary with our closest friends and family. Since we got married in the early pandemic and our families live on different continents, this was the first time we were able to bring everyone together, and it was beautiful and meaningful, so I'm also basking in the joy and appreciate the support of this community that I could take the time to do that. Let us now have a moment of silence to hold in our hearts all the joys and sorrows, those known and unknown in our community, held in the hearts of people on the pews and online. May we lift each other up in love and our neighbors in the wider human community. And this morning, may we especially hold with love all people who are suffering under violence, the dead and those who mourn them. And may we offer prayers this morning to all who hunger, from our neighbors in Seattle facing food insecurity to the many starving in Gaza today. May we pray for and fight for a world where all are safe and nourished. Let us continue this time of meditation in song with There Is a Love.
I forgot we were next.
So the time for all ages is over, but this morning I'm going to tell some stories. Our first one takes place in the 1560s. For the first 20 years or so of Prince John Sigismund's life, the grown-ups around him were doing political battle over the future of his throne. The story involves Habsburgs and Ottomans and Dowager Queens exchanging land on one side of a river for duchies and florins. We don't have time to get into all of that. But what you need to know is that when the prince finally was granted authority over Transylvania, he had quite the task in front of him when it came to creating peace and stability in his land. A good deal, though not all of the conflict, had to do with the wild disagreements of the Protestant Reformation that was sweeping through Europe. In just a few years, Sigismund converted from Catholicism to Lutheranism, and a couple years after that, from Lutheranism to Calvinism. He was a king who wanted to get religion right, and he knew that that would have a big impact on how he ruled. So Sigismund initiated a series of debates between leading authorities of the different churches in his area, and he was trying to get to the bottom of which one was preaching the truth. Each one, the Catholics, the Lutherans, the Calvinists, and the Unitarians, were given an opportunity to present their position for what should be the religion of Transylvania. So, the Unitarian preacher, Francis David, used his platform to speak about freedom of conscience and a faith that revelation is not sealed, that truth is always unfolding. So, this is how King John Sigismund became the first and only Unitarian monarch that the world has ever known. And from that day, he issued a decree that the religion of the land would be tolerance, not Unitarianism. This is known as the Edict of Torda, which proclaimed preachers shall be allowed to preach the gospel everywhere, each according to his understanding, and if the community likes it, that's well. If not, no one shall compel them to accept it. No one shall be reviled for their religion by anyone, for faith is a gift from God. It was a great moment for the future of religious liberalism and the first such edict in the world that we know of, and a foundational moment of our history. Unfortunately, Sigismund did die young, and religious tolerance was not secured for very long, and Francis David was eventually imprisoned for preaching heresy, and he ended up dying in prison. So it's not a happy ending, but it's an important milestone for us and our history. And as the centuries went on, nations and borders shifted, a strong village-based Transylvanian Unitarianism persisted. They persisted through years of re-Catholicization efforts, and then authoritarian communism in the 20th century, which imposed harsh limitations on civil society, extreme censorship, and repression of ethnic minorities. The Unitarian Church in Transylvania has become a hub of community identity formation and subtle resistance, and remains culturally important to this day. And at Westside, we know this particularly well because of our partnership. We have a partner church in the village of Taroko San Giorgi that we have known over the past 20 plus years. We have had pilgrimages to meet them, we have hosted some of them here in Seattle, and we have ongoing Zoom check-ins, as Craig mentioned. Through this partnership, members of our community have had this direct opportunity to build relationships of mutual respect and learning, and we have expanded our understanding of what this shared faith tradition is. Because our ideas of freedom of conscience, pluralism, the unfolding nature of truth, and the calling to center our lives around love, these ideas are compelling. In the human story, they emerge again and again in different times and places, and we are lucky to be part of these movements. So on to my second story. We are skipping ahead quite a while from the 1560s to the 1880s, and we find ourselves in northeast India, more specifically the Khasi Hills region of Assam. The thing to know about the Khasi people is that they are not Hindu. Their traditional religion centers on a single creator, supreme being, who rules over a world that is infused with spirit. Much of the practice could be described as shamanistic, which means that they have a focus on bringing harmony and balance to the world, with sometimes an intense focus on battling evil spirits. The Khasi people have held central their deep connection to nature, ancestors, and community ties for as long as history has recorded. In the middle of the 19th century, the Khasi people began to be visited by Welsh Presbyterian missionaries who brought Western Christianity to the region, and with some success. There was a young man, a Khasi man, named Hajam Kesor Singh, who became Presbyterian as a teenager because he was attending one of these Welsh schools. He was a very good student of religion, and he read the Bible with great interest. And eventually, he became dissatisfied with the version of Christianity that he was being taught. He didn't understand how the doctrines of original sin and the Trinity could be aligned with the good news of Jesus, the saving story of the Bible. In fact, he believed that the Presbyterians, the way that they taught about hell, was just a replacement for the Khasi fear of demons, and that the story of Jesus should be more saving than that. And thankfully, Singh was the type of person who needed to talk to everyone around him about these faith developments. Because he couldn't keep his convictions to himself, he was pretty quickly able to find out that some people around him felt similarly. Eventually, he got in contact with an American Unitarian minister who was living in Calcutta at the time. And they corresponded back and forth. The minister sent him readings of William Ellery Channing and Theodore Parker. And finally, he gathered a church. So on September 18th in 1887, Singh and 3 friends who were also trying to resist Calvinism congregated in a home for the first Unitarian worship of the region. And today, September 18th, is celebrated as a state holiday in Meghalaya, which is cool. I did not know that before researching this sermon. So we can celebrate Unitarian Day on September 18th. They are still a religious minority in the region, but they have had a big influence on the cultural preservation of the Khasi people. And theologically, these folks do not understand that they are Christian. They would not call themselves that. Instead, they see that Unitarianism is a modern form of their Khasi traditional belief system. They still affirm a spirit-infused world, strong connection to lineage, and moral responsibility to one another. There are 10 to 12,000 Khasi Unitarians today. They run schools and ecological protection campaigns and promote youth leadership of cultural preservation programs. There is a contemporary Khasi Unitarian minister and theologian, Reverend Helpmay Mormon, who has written extensively online about their tradition. And this is a rich contribution to the larger tapestry of faith that we are a part of. He explains that in Khasi cosmology, each being is connected with a non-hierarchical, universal spiritual being. Paradise is interpersonal, and the soul is the spiritual stuff that binds us all across creation. For me, diving deep into this story and these traditions, asks me to take seriously my belief that truth can be revealed in quite different forms beyond what I would think of. And yet there is a spiritual kinship that I feel just learning about these people, just meeting them on Zoom. So I have one last story, briefly. A similar, though distinct, arc played out in the Philippines in the 1950s. A man by the name of Toribio Quimada was a seeker. He was raised Catholic, but felt restricted by the norms that discouraged individual Bible study. Eventually, through life circumstances, he found Protestantism and was excited to dive in and study and engross himself in the ideas of Christianity. So he became a minister of the Iglesia Universal de Cristo, and he pursued his calling to this deeper faith by doing parish ministry in rural farming communities. Because of the similar wording, the Iglesia Universal, when he needed support, he looked for international partners by looking up in a directory some names close to Universal, and he found some Universalists in Massachusetts and reached out to them. And they sent him resources and materials, probably some of those same readings from William Ellery Channing and Theodore Parker. And he started incorporating them into his worship. He was inspired by these connections and to start forming a partnership. But what he was preaching was actually heresy for the church that he was a part of, and he was expelled from the ministry. Not to be deterred, Reverend Quimada took this as an opportunity to found the Universalist Church of the Philippines, which has grown into a significant movement in the generations since that is deeply tied to the Unitarian Universalist Association in America. And they are distinctly Christian. They adopted 7 principles, which mirror our own, but they took on an extra one that they put at the top. So they have a different first principle, which is, there is God, God is love. And this is the heart of the Filipino Universalist tradition. They are aligned with liberation theology, and they put that loving God at the center of all they do. Historically and today, over 90% of Filipino Unitarian Universalists are rural farmers, and they often worship in the open air of sugarcane and rice fields. They are deep in the work of land rights for farmers in their community, and Quimada was very involved in this throughout his life. He ran for public office to fight for land rights. And it was this work that led him to be murdered by far-right paramilitary groups in the 1980s, shortly before he was to visit the UUA General Assembly for the first time. But his daughter took up the mantle, and her daughter as well, and many other leaders that they nourished. And now the church is also at the forefront of the fight for LGBTQ rights in the Philippines, as they live out their calling to serve a God of love. And these are just 3 stories, and there are so many more to be told. There are global UU communities all over, in Nigeria, Kenya, Finland, Indonesia, Chile, the UK. In all of these places, there are fierce Unitarians and Universalists weaving liberal religious traditions that we can benefit from being in connection with. This year even, there is a group of UUs who gather on the internet from across Brazil, a very large country, for worship and fellowship in Brazilian Portuguese, and they are trying to raise money to meet together at their first ever in-person convening. They are excited about the opportunity to build energy and momentum for their movement and think that it would be a great fit for Brazil. In these times when so much around us feels fractured and the borders of this nation feel constrictive, when our institutions are being dismantled and beloveds are suffering, I feel a longing for something more. On a spiritual level, I am longing for a story that cannot be contained by borders, and that is many lifetimes longer than my brief years. Remembering our global UU family helps me answer that longing just a little bit. I feel just a little bit of expansion to my story, and I remember that we are not alone. And it's not just a lovely idea, it's not just stories. As UUs, we are in relationship, real, ongoing, mutual relationship with others like us around the world. In the past few years, our U.S. Unitarian Universalist Association has been hard at work to re-examine how we can best support our global partners, shifting its approach to international partnerships, leaning away from more imperialist styles of the past. There are these emerging programs like the UU Global Networks Leading into the Future convening, and we have opportunities to listen to each other more, co-create more, co-lead more, and center the express needs of our partners who have so much to teach us. And here at Westside, we know about this. We continue to be dedicated to our relationship with Taroko St. George and Reverend Imoshe and Shaba and all of them. So please, if you want to be part of this story, you can get in touch with Craig or Ginger. Witnessing what seems like brokenness all around us, let us be invited to widen our gaze and take in the truth that we are part of a communion of human souls. We are part of a web of resilience that stretches so far. Imagine that we are in the story that Rick shared with us earlier, gathering for worship in a sanctuary lit by oil lamps. We are illuminated by the light of Filipino farmers in the fields under the wide sky, worshiping on and fighting for the land that they came from. And there's also the steady flickering of our Transylvanian siblings who know something about keeping faith alive through times of surveillance, censorship, and authoritarianism. And there is the lantern from the Khasi Hills that weaves the threads of ancestral connection into a liberal and saving faith. These and other lanterns join us and our lanterns on the walls of this sanctuary. May we take a moment, like Zora in the story, to just sit back and take in the glow of it. Let us be awed by it. Look how love keeps finding a way to shine. Isn't it radiant? Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit, and we'll sing together number 134, Our World is One World.
Our world is one world.
Thank you to Lisa Maynard and Christina Darnell, our music leaders, also John Hanson and Marion Key, Reverend Carter and Craig Anderson, Nate and Henry, our ushers and hospitality folks. As always, it's a tremendous pleasure and blessing to do this sacred work together.
I invite you to please rise one more time in body or in spirit for our closing words from Ian Huntington Bear. You are in the story of the world. You are the world coming to know itself. May you trust that all you ever say or do belongs in the story of the world. And now I'll invite Craig to come forward to release our flame. As he does so, may you go into this week blessed and blessing the world. We hold you in our love as you go.